What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have a brand new build for you guys. So over here we have a 2012 BMW S1000RR and it's in less than pristine condition. This one is a bit unique because we have damage on all sides of this motorcycle. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys all the damages I found on this bike, and I hope there is nothing hidden. Ideally, I would like to keep the color of the swinging arm original, but since it has some damage to it and I'm not going to be replacing it, it begs the question, what am I going to do? Should I paint it or should I throw some carbon covers on it? Drop your suggestions down in the comment below. If we go further down low, you can see the rear wheel has seen better days, to say the least. That's completely curled in there. I've never seen a rear wheel damage in this form before, so I'm not even sure what will cause something like that. We also have some scuffs over here and over here on the fairing kit. The rear seat is also damaged in multiple locations. Rear tail fairing also damaged in multiple locations. Rear tail lights damaged, and of course more damage over here too. So funny thing, when I picked this bike up, it came with this exhaust. I think someone is playing with me. Literally, that's what it looked like. Clearly they had a different exhaust on this bike and they took it off, but come on, really? And moving forward, we have some signs of oil leak over in this area, same as this area. It's clearly a bolt missing up there, I'm not sure why, but it's clearly some oil residue all over this area. Moving up top, we have some damage to the gas tank. The tank fairing over here is missing. This one is broken over here. So some decent damage for sure. Starting over in the front end of the motorcycle, as you can see, the front intake or ram air intake fairing stay is destroyed. The instrument cluster is actually on the bike, so that's a good thing, but we do have a crack right on it over there. The headlights broken in multiple locations, same over here. The front nose fairing, intake fairing, all of that is all damaged. Over on the left side, as you can see, the handlebar or the clip-on is completely broken off. The left switch also broken. The lever also damaged, so I had to zip tie this to be able to get it out of gear, because for some reason it will not go in neutral and it's impossible to move it. If I drop down low over here, you can see some damage to the fairings. Left side turn signal is also broken. You can see the forks are leaking over there, and we have a rubber shroud or gasket. I'm not sure exactly what that's from. It looks like it's gonna be from the intake, but I'm not sure why it's all the way down there and not all the way up over there. Moving forward, this is not part of the damage, but the brake rotors appear to be in really poor condition. I hope I can save this because the part list for this bike is starting to add up quite quickly. So over on the left side of the motorcycle, as you can see, the rider foot peg is broken off over there. The frame is not in the best condition. Even though this has super low mileage, we have some scratches over here, some scratches down there, and on the swinging arm we also have some scratches over there too. The right handlebar is still present, but the throttle housing has some damage. The master cylinder is very damaged and that needs to be replaced. I don't think they're saving that one. You can't really rebuild it because this is grounded down. The lever is missing. I'm not even sure how that happened. Lever, the pin, everything is missing over there. And the throttle is very sticky. We drop down low over here. The brake rotors are super rusty. Some scuff to the fork over here, but I can also clean that up pretty easily. And the front fender is actually in really good condition, so that's a win. I believe that's the only panel on this bike that's not damaged. So I would usually start my build off by giving the bike a wash, but with the current condition of that rear wheel, it is impossible to move this bike around. I'm going to toss it on the lift. I'm going to start throwing some new parts on it, and at some point it's going to get a proper wash. So this bike just keeps on giving. As you can see, I've completely taken apart the tail section. All the fronts are off, tail lights is off over here. I have the wiring all exposed. No surprises over here. I just realized I did not even take into account the left switch. It's completely missing. So I started going down, digging in here, and I was able to find the wiring. Here's the wiring for the left switch. So completely destroyed, obviously. That's the headlight wiring over there. And we have the wiring for the horn down in here. That's also completely destroyed. You can see the pins, so we're going to need a new horn assembly for sure. And it looks like this bike has been tuned or flashed, because this is the intake air temperature sensor. This should be in the airbox usually, or at least somewhere in the intake, but it's sitting out here and it looks like it was glued onto something. Now I'm not sure exactly what it was glued on, because as you can see, it's broken off. I haven't found any glue residue anywhere else. So that's something that I need to look into for sure. But over on the right side over here, the ram air intake, the bolts are completely missing on both sides. But if I go over to the left side over here, you can see where it broke off on the frame. So it's broken off, and on the other side, both are completely missing. Not making a whole lot of sense. I also have not been able to start this bike, so I do not know if it runs. You can see the condition of the left switch. There is no way to start it. It does power on, so that's a good thing. If I turn the ignition on, the dash does power on. It has super low mileage for its year. So that's a really good bonus. As you can see, 9,858,000 kilometers. So under 10,000 kilometers. Wicked. So that's really good. But there is no way to start it because, well, the left switch is non-existent. So as usual, that's going to be one of my first purchases, because before I dive too deep into a project, I want to make sure that whatever vehicle I'm working on does start up and run okay. The headlight does work, so that's a bonus. But as you can see, I don't think this is salvageable because all the mounts on it are broken. So it's much easier to just get a replacement unit. But in order to start the bike, I'm going to need to play around with this wiring, figure out what is the correct circuit to start this motorcycle, and see if I can get it started. But in the meantime, I have quite a bit of parts to take off the bike still. Well guys, it's another day in the garage. I have still not been able to start the bike. The bike has been on the lift for about 24 hours. And look at that. We have an engine oil leak. So this is clearly an active leak. We do have lots of engine oil in the side glass, as you can see. So I'm not sure if this is just due to overfilling. Very unlikely though, but we definitely have an active leak. This is also my first time being down this low, and it looks like this has a full exhaust, which would make a lot of sense because if you remember, I just pointed out that up front, the intake air temperature sensor was relocated to the front of the ram air tube, and you only do that if you've done some other serious modification. So now I'm going to go ahead and continue stripping parts of the motorcycle. I'm going to get all the fairings off, inspect to see if there's any other hidden damage that I might have missed. And then we need to get this outside and give it a proper wash before we can start throwing any new parts on this motorcycle. So that's awfully suspicious. I just removed the side fairing and I did not even have to disconnect the left turn signal. It was already disconnected. Doesn't make any sense why that would be, but that's concerning. I just found something on the motorcycle and I do not like it. So like I pointed out, there is an engine oil leak over here. This bike sat on here for less than 24 hours and we have that. We do have lots of oil in the motorcycle, so that's good. Lots of chain lube residue, I'm guessing, on this area. The oil filter is over here, and as you can see, it's nice and clean. There's no sign of active oil leak over there. When I drop lower at the header pipe, do you see that? That's oil right here. So this is not good. In my experience, there's only one reason why you have engine oil coming out from the exhaust, and it's not a good reason. So I'm really hoping that that's not the case. But you can see all over on the lower fairing over there, there's lots of oil residue. It doesn't go any much higher. Like there's literally no sign of oil anywhere on the engine block. Obviously this is just over time. It's all dry. The oil filter itself is dry. No sign of engine oil leak over there. So it's only coming from the exhaust, and that's not good. That's not good at all. So we might need to drop the exhaust to see. Oh, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. We need to do some cleaning for sure. We need to attempt to get the bike started. I do know it has oil in it. I'm going to check coolant, obviously, and then figure out how to bypass the kill switch over there up front and get it started somehow and see what she sounds like. Because I really do not want this build to go in the direction where it kind of appears it's going to right now. One damaged headlight is off. And the second one is off the bike. So now I have the complete fairings of the motorcycle, except the front fender, but that's not in the way to see anything that's going on over here. Now, like I pointed out before, we have one bolt missing over here. We do have some oil leaks. You can see all of this area is pretty wet. Going down this side of the engine block is also pretty wet. So it could be due to this bolt being missing, though I'm not sure why that would be the case. I have looked at all of this. It looks like this has been taken off before at some point. It's possible that they never put it back, or maybe it fell out. Obviously do not know. But I found this connector just loose over here. It's not connected to anything on the right side, and same thing on the left. And here it is on the left side, again, not connected to anything. I started looking around to determine what was unplugged or left not connected for some reason. I cannot figure it out just yet. I will have to revisit that to determine what is not connected on this motorcycle. And looking from this side of the engine, there's nothing that's actively leaking that would cause this oil residue over here. And it looks like I said before, it's coming from the headers. And so again, we have one over here and right on the other header. Yeah. So we definitely have oil coming out from the headers, and that is not good. Well guys, I just checked the rad. It still has lots of coolant on it. As you can see, I did lose some coolant over here by opening it. So that's a really good thing. Yes. Okay, fairing stays off. And now I just received a major delivery for the S1000RR. It's a part I've been waiting for a minute. I'm super glad to have it here. It's gonna help me be able to move this bike around. And what we have here is a replacement rear wheel for the BMW S1000RR. Pop off this damaged one, get the tires moved over, and we can be able to move this bike around. Axle is out. Well guys, as you can see, the wheel is no longer on the motorcycle. I have it down here, and I just separated wheel from the tire, and this does not look good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut the chain. I had to take the other wheel out of the box so you guys can just get a proper side-by-side. There is a decent chunk missing out here, guys. It is absolutely insane. I have never seen this before. Look at how bent and curved that thing is in there. Like, how does something like that even happen? Like, it makes no sense. It's curved, it's past the spoke over here. How does that happen? How does that happen? That's crazy. That is crazy. Super glad I found it. But now the scrap wheel is gonna get put away, and we're gonna keep working on the bike. Well, now I'm gonna go to work attempting something that I'm quite sure isn't possible, but you never know except you try. So I'm gonna try. Oh guys, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. In about 15 minutes messing around with this, we got the tire on. I'm gonna put some air in it, see how she does. And we're good now. Now I can go ahead and install all these fancy bits so we can throw the wheel back on the bike and be able to move it around. This bad boy goes on. That's good. Just gonna reinstall the axle now. I haven't secured it yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel. And that spins straight. Some of you guys probably know why I'm doing this. On the last build, or one of the previous builds, that was a different case over there. We just finished washing the bike, and as you can see, it looks a lot cleaner than it did before, that's for sure. All that gummed up chain loop over there, everything is all nice and clean. I haven't found the source of the leak, unfortunately, but when we're able to get this bike started, hopefully we should know more. I'm currently draining the fuel in the gas tank right now because when I move the bike, it sounds like there's something loose in there. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But as you can hear, I'm draining the gas tank because I'm going to need to pull out the fuel pump when I remove the gas tank to check what that is. The bike did clean up pretty good, so I'm happy about that. We've washed the motorcycle, it's a lot cleaner, so we're ready to work on it. I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil because I want to see what the condition of that. I'm going to open up the filter. I want to see if there's any concerning things like metal flakes, chunks, whatever in there. Okay, so the oil looks really good. It looks like it was recently replaced. So as you can see, I'm currently draining the engine oil, and for sure, this oil was just replaced in the last maybe 500 kilometers. Because as you can see, it's really clean, really clear. Obviously at the bottom of the pan, you're gonna get the older stuff. It's just the way it is. But the oil in the oil filter is still very, very clear, which makes me believe that the oil change was recently done on this motorcycle. Old filter is out. I'm gonna go ahead and install a new filter because I want to remove the headers and see exactly where the oil is coming from, because I haven't seen anything concerning. The engine oil looks really, really good. Filter looks good. So the plan is install a new filter and pull the headers to see if there's anything concerning up front there. I'm gonna lube the filter, install it in place. I have new oil in here. I filled it up to the specified level. One thing I've noticed, only BMW has the fill port on this side, then has the side glass on the other side of the engine. So when you fill in it, you have to stop, go to the other side and check the side glass. Absolutely makes no sense. I've never seen it before, but of course BMW is gonna do that. But here it is, filling it up over here. You have to go all around next to the bike. And that's the side glass over here. It should be on the same side as the fill ports. But since it's BMW, obviously they're gonna have two techs working on this when you take it to the dealership. That's why they charge you double. One guy fills the engine oil, one guy stands over here and looks at the side glass. Okay, it doesn't look bad in here. There is some oil on this side of the pipe though. Oh, not bad. I thought we're gonna be leaking quite a bit of oil over here, but now I'm gonna go over to the other side and get the pipes off too. Well, that's a letdown. I for sure thought it's gonna be draining oil like crazy, but there's nothing. So with the mid pipe removed, as you can see, this is the condition of the header. This is the one that's mostly leaking the most oil, and as you can see, there is something in there. Yeah, there's a lot of this not good looking stuff. It looks like engine oil mixed with some water or moisture, but whatever it is, I don't want it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the headers. Well guys, now as you can see, I have all the exhaust headers out of the bike. Obviously this is not the original exhaust from this bike, it's aftermarket. I can't seem to tell what brand it is just yet, but it looks like it's really worn down. The metal looks really worn down, if that makes any sense. I went ahead and marked all the exhaust headers, obviously. The first exhaust pipe for cylinder 1 appears to have lots of that same oil residue. Cylinder 2 appears to have the most, as you can see. Cylinder 3 appears to have a little bit, but cylinder 4 is completely dry, bone dry. There is no fluids in here whatsoever. So that got me thinking. This bike was obviously crashed, and it was more than likely laid on the left side, because as you can see, the handlebar is broken right over here. So if the bike was laid on the left side, and if, for example, the oil was overfilled, or not necessarily overfilled, full, and the bike is laid on the left side, oil can make its way past the sails, past the piston, up into the crankcase. And if that happened, you would have engine oil leaking out the exhaust. So that's currently my theory, because nothing else would indicate an engine failure so far. It was pretty concerning finding engine oil leaking out of the exhaust pipe at the beginning of this, but after draining the engine oil and taking a look at it, the drain plug, which has the magnetic tip on it, and the oil filter, there's no cause for alarm yet. So far, everything I've seen is okay. It's not bad, it's not great, but it's okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is pull out my ball scope and try to look at those valves and see what condition they're in. Okay, ball scope is here, and let's take a look at cylinder 4. Overall, pretty dry. We do have some carbon buildup in the cylinders, but that's expected. That's very normal. And cylinder 3, pretty dry too. Less carbon buildup over there. And then cylinder 2, that looks pretty good. And then cylinder 1, this appears to be the really wet one. Of all the 4 right now, this appears to be the really wet one. Well guys, I have looked at it. All the cylinders appear to be okay. The valves are all straight, nothing appears to be bent or broken, so that's really good. Some carbon buildup, but that's very normal. At this point, I do not want to get ahead of myself, but I'm pretty confident that we have a working engine and everything else was just false alarm. I'm hoping that's the case, fingers crossed. I'm going to clean up the exhaust headers. Obviously, we have oil or some kind of residue in there, so all of that needs to be cleaned out so we do not smoke out the whole garage. When we attempt to start it up, throw it back on, we do have coolant, we have brand new engine oil. All we need is some spark. Well, gasoline too. Over here are the exhaust pipes I removed from the bike, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and cleaned it up as good as possible. This took a minute. I've also cleaned the inside. I used some good old fuel. Fuel is actually a good degreaser if you don't know. And cleaned the inside and I cleaned the outside. This is what it looked like when it came off the bike. So as you can tell, pretty significant difference if you ask me. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean the fourth pipe, which is the last one, and then we can install everything back on the bike. But it looks like a brand new set of pipes if you ask me. Almost. Compared to that, massive improvement. Now that I've cleaned the 4 exhaust headers, I have the mid pipes currently being saturated in here. I'm gonna go ahead and start installing the exhaust pipes back in place, clean this, install that back in place, and then start messing with stuff up there. So now that I know that there's enough engine oil in here, there's obviously coolant in the bike, because I checked that over there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and open up the gas tank, make sure the air filter is in good condition, possibly check the spark plugs, which are all the way down in here, so that's gonna be fun. And then we can hopefully start this motorcycle. But I'm more concerned looking at the spark plugs because I wanna make sure that's in good condition, because I don't need any damage to this engine. So I have the gas tank out, and I hope the camera can pick this up. There's clearly something in this gas tank that shouldn't be in there. Now with the tank removed, right away, another connector that is not secured, exposed to the elements, the terminals are actually corroded. Guys, if you're gonna do a delete or whatever on your car, motorcycle, just wrap the plug in some tape, protect it in case for some reason it needs to go back on. I disconnected the fuel pump connectors, and over here is the fuel line. So looking good, doesn't look terribly bad in here. Not sure what that is, but that shouldn't be in there. Okay, so I have the air filter out. Clearly it has an aftermarket air filter. I'm not sure what brand it is. Oh, so it has a K&N aftermarket air filter, so that's good. So clearly this bike is not stock because there's a lot of things I'm seeing that indicate that. Obviously the bike has a full exhaust. Like I pointed out before, that intake air temperature sensor that should be on the airbox has been relocated to the front. It has a K&N air filter. It also has a block-off plate at the stock location for the intake air temperature sensor. And there it is. And a quick Google search reveals that's BT Motors logo over there. So clearly a fair bit of mod has been done to this bike. Now I wonder if the ECU has been flashed, because a lot of stuff has been done. It would make sense to flash the ECU, but there's no stickers on it indicating that it's been flashed. But sometimes that's not always the case. Well guys, with the airbox now removed, we can get a better look at what's going in here. And so far I haven't seen anything concerning, and that's a really good thing. As you can see over here, the block-off plate mod has been done. One right over there, one right over there. So without a doubt, this motorcycle is obviously tuned, because you need to be to do something like that. We can see the throttle cables. I'm not sure why it's sticking right over here. We tilt it and obviously it doesn't return, but we can see both cables are connected in there. So it should not be doing that. It appears to have the correct amount of tension on it. So I'm wondering if the issue is up here and not in there. But I'm going to go ahead and do some quick cleaning in here. Clean the airbox, clean the air filter that I have removed. Get the spark plugs out. Look at those. This bike has super low mileage, so I will not be changing the spark plugs because there's no need to. So before we get too carried away trying to adjust stuff in here, as you can see, throttle is sticking. So I'm going to first open this up, see if there's anything to be concerned about, because it clearly should not be doing this. It should always go back to its original position. I have the cover off now, and from what I can see, everything is good. The cables are still where they should be. Oh, look at that. Now it works properly. So it's possible that because this is broken over here, it's binding. Because now it works good, so that's an easy fix. Well guys, I've pulled out all the spark plugs, and for the most part they appear to be really good in reusable condition, so that's good. I have the ball scope currently in there. I'm going to look at the cylinders and see what they look like. And on cylinder number 1, nothing concerning, some carbon deposits, but everything is all good. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all the spark plugs, reinstall it, reinstall the coil packs, clean the top of the valve cover and everything in this area. All spark plugs are installed, ignition coils installed, all connected. That's good. Let's get to some cleaning. Well guys, as you can see, everything is now fully reinstalled. Airbox, everything is also been cleaned up, so I'm super happy about that. Now if we go over here, here's the gas tank. Like I said, there is for sure something in there, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the fuel pump out, make sure everything is good in there, reinstall it, and then hopefully we can get to fire this motorcycle up. Also, the damage to the gas tank, it's not bad. It looks like it's just this outside lip over here, because as you can see, it does have a curve, and over here it's just... So we're going to be fixing that, throw some new paint on it. There we go, fuel pump is out. So it's definitely good to know that I'm not crazy. So look inside the fuel pump. You see all of that in there? That should not be in there. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the fuel and get that out. Okay, we have one piece out. It looks like some kind of rubber seal. I'm not sure. Okay, this looks like a nut. I mean a bolt with an Allen head over here. The other pieces I would just have to clean out. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and cleaned the tank completely. So I have looked at a few pump assembly and I cannot find any threaded hole that's missing a bolt. That would make sense for why this is in the gas tank. Also looked in here, can't find anything. So the conclusion I've come to is that the previous owner was working on this bike, or someone was working on this bike, and they dropped this in here and did not care to get it out, because I don't see anything missing the hardware over here. And the same thing for this rubber bushing over here, or this rubber-like material. The pump assembly has everything on it. Nothing appears to be missing or really worn down like that one is. So I have no ideas. I have no clue why any of this is in the gas tank. But at this point, it's nothing alarming right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this up. Obviously, this gasket needs to be cleaned up pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything back in place, throw some gas in it, and throw it on the bike. Fuel line is connected, first connector, and the second one over here. And now we can install the gas tank back in place. Now with the gas tank installed back on the motorcycle, we need to go get some fresh gasoline. Okay, gasoline is secured. I don't think your fuel cap should look like that. Lots of debris in here. That does not look good, to say the least. Well guys, I have added sufficient gas. It's now or never. So now I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the battery. I have looked at the wiring schematics, so I think I'm confident enough I can get this started without the switch, but there's only one way to find out. I have the battery hooked up now, and if we go over to the front, we do have the ignition, so that's really good. So everything's on right now. I've been playing with the ignition wiring after looking at the wiring schematics, and everything is looking good. And I have figured it out. So watch this, guys. Did you see that? So one more time. So it's cranking. It sounds really good. Okay, so that's really good. I gotta figure this out for a second. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it now. It's running, guys, it's running. Well guys, as you can see, this is good news. We have a Build bike. Engine sounds phenomenal. No concerns. It was smoky at the beginning, but it's expected with the amount of oil that could possibly be left in the cylinders. I did clean out the pipe. Obviously, you can't get everything out. Now I have to get to ordering a whole bunch of parts in for this bike so we can get it looking a lot better than it currently looks right now. Well, that's all for this video. If you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, all that fancy stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.